All right, guys, today we got a special guest in the house. This man is a battle rap legend, straight from Detroit, Marv Won.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yo, Marv, how you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I don't have no real complaints, man. I'm happy to be here. Ready to chop it up with Panda Chop, man. Let's go.
Man, I'm honored to have you, bro. So let's start at the beginning. You're originally from Detroit, but were you born in Detroit?
Born and raised in Detroit. Lived on both sides. I'm from the east side. I lived on the west side, but I'm from the east side.
Okay. And you're the oldest of three siblings, right? You got two younger brothers?
My mother had two. My mother had two boys, and my father had six, but I'm still the oldest.
Wow. So, yeah. But you grew up mainly just in the house with three siblings, right?
Yeah. Me and my two little brothers, yeah.
So what was family life like for you?
It was pretty typical, man. I had a really hardworking single mother. She had me when she was pretty young. She had me when she was 18. A lack of help, but my mother is super resilient. Never really took handouts. You know, we never suffered. We never knew if there was anything wrong. So I had a typical upbringing, man. Like, play football in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, threw rocks at cars. Like, it was real typical. It was real typical growing up. You know what I'm saying?
And what did your parents do for work?
So my mother she works in a juvenile detention center. So she's worked there for a minute. You know, she went from being a guard, you know, to laundry, to like a supervisor. So she's done everything in that space.
Got you. And then what about your dad?
Not sure. I didn't have a relationship with my father.
Oh, right. Okay, so you grew up mainly with just your mom.
Yeah.
Okay. And how would you describe yourself like as a child? Like, were you really quiet, social, into school, sports, or music?
I was a good student. I was a good student until I wasn't. Pretty typical, man. Like, I had a good little social circle. I wasn't really shy. I wasn't really like insecure or anything like that. Like, pretty outgoing as a kid. Mm-hmm. Music has always been my passion. Music and words, like writing, has always been like my go-to. So yeah, like that was my deal. Like, music and writing, that was my deal.
Got you. And your youngest brother, he's autistic, right?
Yes, my youngest brother is autistic.
What was that like growing up with him being autistic?
Difficult at first. It wasn't something that you can prepare yourself for. It's not something that my family has a history of. So when it came to us, it was a big shock. But, you know, his days became our normal. So, you know, after the shock of it, like, it just became, well, you know, that's just how it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Right. You know, it's interesting with people with autism, like they may lack in certain areas, but they excel in other areas. Like, you know, definitely, they're very like intelligent in different ways.
Super. My little brother's like a computer whiz. Like, that's his deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's his deal.
So because you didn't grow up with your father and you were raised primarily by your mom, did you feel the need to be like the man of the house or set an example for your brothers? Or did you like have a stepdad?
So my mother did marry. Unfortunately, it was later on in my life, but she lost her husband. But it was just, I don't know if I felt the need to step up and be the man more so than just things had to be done. Things had to be taken care of. And there was responsibility put on me, at a fairly young age. And it just it became my norm. So I didn't think of it as trying to step up or trying to fill a gap. It was just, hey, my mother said she needed this done. I'm the closest person who can get it done. Let me get it done. Like, I don't think that I looked at it like I was taking over, like I was taking someone's job, or I was trying to set out to be a father figure for my little brothers. It wasn't that. It was just, yo, this shit got to get done. So get it done.
basically like what happens a lot of times in the minority communities in the inner cities is like basically you just deal with the conditions, the cards that you dealt with, right? And it's normalized.
I'm respectfully, you know what I'm saying? Like I won't say minority. I won't say minority families in inner cities. I think it's just a family thing because the same thing can happen in rural Oklahoma or whatever. Like it's like I won't put that on. I won't let you put that on minority families. You know what I'm saying? In inner cities, just broken homes, and broken homes can be anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's just you have to step up.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all. It's no different as if I were on a farm and my father died and I had to go out and tend to the fields or whatever the case may be. Like if something has to be done, like you just do it. Like that's it.
How was it like for you growing up without your dad though? Like did you feel like seeing your friends with their fathers? Did you ask like your mom like what happened or anything like that?
When I was young, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young, maybe, because you know, I would be lying to you if I told you that you know every boy doesn't have the visions of throwing the ball with his father or working on cars or learning how to drive from his father. But my mother never badmouthed my father; they just didn't work out. And you know, whatever decision he made in order to keep peace for himself, you know, he made. And my mother stepped in and filled the gap. So I don't think I wanted for anything. I didn't want for anything. I didn't feel like I was lacking anything because I had a very, very, very strong and determined mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you have like uncles or like older cousins that filled that role for you as well, like to be that frame of reference?
I did have older cousins. My mother doesn't have any brothers, so I didn't have any uncles. I did have older cousins who were both really positive influences on my life. One is the reason why I do music. He was the person who really introduced me to hip hop. My cousin Chuck. I watched my older cousin Derek graduate from college. Like so, I had those things to aspire to. So again, that's why I didn't feel as if I lacked anything.
For sure, man. So you're coming up in Detroit in the 80s as a kid during the crack era, right? Walking the streets of Detroit, what are you seeing? Like, what is the environment that is shaping you into the person that you eventually become?
That's a very loaded question because I don't want to give the impression that I was stepping over vials or walking through war zones or anything like that. I still lived in a community. I still lived in a neighborhood. And even the people who may have had habits were still very community based. They were still very neighborhood driven. So it was a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. They were just people who who just got caught up in the undertow of a really, really strong current. They weren't bad people. Like, you know, no one ever solicited me or offered me anything. I never had to, you know what I'm saying? Like I never had to run from crackheads or anything like that. I still lived in a community. So like a lot of the horror stories that people have, or a lot of the horror stories that people embellish about their growing up or their city or Detroit as a whole, I didn't experience that. I still lived in a tight-knit community. We just had people who had problems in that community.
That's dope though. So like even, you know, with those issues plaguing the community, you still felt like there were people that had your best interest at heart.
Definitely. It was definitely, hey, if I see you doing this, it's going to be a problem. Like, it's like, you know, a lot of times people, especially during that era, a lot of times people got caught up in that due to their ignorance. They had no idea. They had no idea what the ramifications would be or what the consequences could be for this. And you have to remember, like cocaine was a party drug. Cocaine was a rich person's party drug. And once people found out how to mass manufacture it, you know what I'm saying, for a lower price, they didn't necessarily know what would come after. Or I'm assuming a lot of them wouldn't have went down that road.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into talking about hip hop, growing up, was your household very musical with like Motown influences and everything?
So again, my mother was young. Like my mother was young, so like it was musical, but it was more um late 70s disco. It was more Run DMC. My mother is the first person I saw who had the King of Rock Run DMC like on vinyl. My house was very Anita Baker. Like it was musical, but it was so diverse because of my mother's age. It was a lot of things that were growing with her. You know what I'm saying? That she was still into. So there wasn't one genre of music that was played. And luckily, that expanded my palette for other genres of music.
For sure, man. Can you talk a little bit about the Detroit music scene from that perspective, though? As far as like, I feel like a lot of times people forget that Detroit has such a rich musical history. Outside people from outside of Detroit seem to not recognize that as much. I feel like.
You know what? And I think it's the opposite. I think people who are inside of Detroit forget how rich of a history we have because we live it. Like we've seen it, like we take it for granted. Like there are people, I know people who lived here who are in my age range who have never been to the Motown Museum just because,
wow.
Yeah, just because we live it. So while other people come in from out of town and they're always so excited to go to these places just because we have it. Like we usually don't. But the stamp that Detroit specifically has put on music, whether it's Motown, whether it's death metal, whether it's hard rock, like whether it's techno, like Detroit is a super musical city. And like a lot of people or a lot of places thrive off of what we create or created. So you can't really deny the imprint that we've made because it's still going strong, like in all genres.
But from the outside perspective, do you feel like Detroit gets the props that it deserves as far as musically, though?
Yes, it does. Because you can't have a conversation about music in totality without mentioning Motown. Motown is the biggest force to come through music. Like it literally spawned so many babies. It literally spawned what's popular today. So like I definitely think we get our just due. Everybody may not know the names of the artists, but most people know the songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, they could do more research, but they definitely don't leave us out of the conversation. That's not something that I've encountered.
Got you. Okay. Do you remember the exact moment that you fell in love with hip hop?
Oh man, I hate questions like that. Yes.
Well, why do you hate questions like that in particular?
Because it's so cliche. Like it's so cliche. Like because if you're living in the moment, you may not necessarily be taking note of it. Like you know what I'm saying. Like you're just living it. But I can remember the first thing that made a lasting impact on me in the culture of hip hop. My cousin Chuck had a dubbed cassette of Boogie Down Productions' Criminal Minded, the whole album. And that was the first time that I remember hearing some things like so theatric, so big, so grand. And the song My 9mm Goes Bang is the first song that I ever memorized word for word. I was super young. You know what I'm saying? I was still single digits. But I remembered, like I memorized that song because I just thought it was so fire. And ever since then, it's been off to the races. Like I've been trying to feed an insatiable appetite, trying to chase that dragon. You know what I'm saying? The first time I heard that.
So how long after that moment do you start penning your own stuff?
I started writing rhymes when I was in 4th or 5th grade. When I was in 4th or 5th grade, me and my best friend at the time, who's still a good friend of mine, my man Bobby, we started a rap group in 4th grade called Partners in Crime. And we had this composition notebook that we would write rhymes in and pass back and forth. So yeah, I started
at 10 years old, you're already on it.
For sure. 19 years old, I'm on it. I've always known what my gift and purpose was. I may not have known how to get there, but I always felt that I knew what I was supposed to be doing.
Wow. So that young, you're already saying that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, pretty much?
I would be lying if I told you that I knew at 9, 10 that this was going to be my life. But I knew at 9, 10 that there was nothing else that I enjoyed as much as that.
Got you. Okay. And did you always go by Marv Won, or did you have a different rap name?
Oh, no, I had terrible rap names, which I will never, ever reveal. But yeah, I had, but everybody had that phase. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had that phase until they found who they were. And the funny thing about my name, my stage name, which is why I'm a big stickler on when people misspell it. I started making my bones in the scene like right after high school. So like I started doing battles and things like that. And I was being mentored by two people. One was my man Hex Murder, and one was my man Big Cobb. And I was literally just going around and battling places, signing up as Marv. Like I didn't have a stage name. And one day my man Cobb called me and said, "Yo, I got your name." I said, "Okay." He said, every time I call someone and ask them who won the battle, the answer is always Marv Won. Like Marv Won. So that's my name. Like my name is MARV space WON period. Like it's a statement. Like Marv Won. It's not ONE. It's not the number one. I've seen some people say JUAN, like I'm Spanish or some shit like that. Like respectfully, like I'm not Spanish. You know what I'm saying? But so like it definitely means a lot because one, he's no longer with us on this plane. You know what I'm saying? So always to honor him. Like I take that very, very seriously. But that's how I got my name. But I had some shitty ones before it, for sure.
For sure, man. But why do people like put it together instead of putting a space in between it? Sometimes I see it like that too.
You know why? I think a lot of people thought that I was trying to mimic or copy Pace One from the Outsiders, which super, super dope group, super like Pace is my man too, super cool guy. But I just think it's easier for people to think that I was trying to emulate him, so they just spell it the same way that he does.
Got you. And when did you start making beats? Was that like shortly after you started rapping?
So I started making beats maybe in my 20s, my late teens, 20s. Shouts to my man Dale, who has been like my biggest influence musically, like someone who I could tangibly touch. He was always my producer when I was younger. I was always his right hand, and he always made beats. So I just kind of wanted to learn how to do it. So he just left me to it. Like let me use his equipment and stuff. And I wasn't always the best. And I didn't take it seriously until much, much, much later in my career. Because I hadn't mastered how to rap yet. So I didn't want to take on too much. But I always know physically how to make beats. But I wasn't confident in them, and I just didn't take it seriously until I had to. Until I felt like I couldn't get beats from my famous, more busy producer friends. So that's when I started taking beats very seriously around 2012, maybe 2012, 2013, maybe.
Would you say that it was more natural for you to be rapping and writing and stuff like that than making beats? Like it came easier for you?
Probably. And I was more secure in my ability as a rapper than I was in my ability as a producer. Like I know I can rap. Like I've put in my 10,000 hours as a rapper.
Right.
Like I can do this shit with my eyes closed. Like it takes me 7 minutes to write a 16 bar verse. Like if that, I'm like, I can see words. It's kind of like a beautiful mind. Remember, he would see the numbers and stuff on.
Right.
Like I see words and letters the same way. I see words and colors. Like I know moods, I know hues, I know everything. So that part is easy. It was
the idea. Like synesthesia? Because, like I interviewed Copy and he described it kind of.
Yeah. Like I hear music and I see words. Like I hear music and I see words. Like if someone sends me a beat, I know exactly what's supposed to be on this beat.
But do you see colors? You see colors too?
I see colors because I definitely think sounds create moods. So there are like if something is mellow, I see blues, I see greens. If something is super hype, I see reds. If something is emotional, I see yellows and oranges. Like I legitimately see, like I do see color. You know what I'm saying? When I see these words, because it creates the mood. But I was much more confident as a writer than I was as a producer. Again,
that's amazing.
Until I had to be. You know what I'm saying? And then by that time, I had been associated with so many good producers here in the city. The Mr. Porters, the Black Milks, the J Dillas, the Silent Riots, like everybody who was somebody in my world, like I worked with. So there was no need for me to try to put myself out there as a producer. But then either when they got super busy or, maybe the luster faded and, those calls stopped being immediately returned, I had to, fend for myself. So to speak. But then that put me in a space too, because then once those same people heard my beats, it was like, oh, well, you don't need no beats no more. Like, you don't need no beats from me. So it became like a double-edged sword. It was kind of like, Marv, like, you don't need me to do beats for you. Like, just go do your stuff. And that's how I ended up doing Soundtrack of Autumn. That was the first project that I produced by myself.
How influential was the music that you heard in your household, the many different genres, on you later as a producer?
Super, because I didn't feel boxed in. Like I didn't feel like I had to stay grounded in one sound. I didn't have to do typical what is now deemed as boom bap, or I wasn't afraid to pick up a polka record, or I wasn't afraid to try melodies or whatever, because like I know how strong of an entity music is, because I heard it all in my space. It's kind of like how Dilla produced, you know what I'm saying? Like being able to take the smallest thing and turn it into something huge, or take a sound that most people would shy away from and turn it into something enjoyable for your listener. Like that's become more fulfilling than writing the rhyme for me at this point. Like producing has become more fulfilling. Like I have more fun producing than I do writing, for sure.
Wow. I'm sure the drum patterns too.
Definitely.
Very different, right?
Definitely. But like I'm saying, like I was 15, 16 when Fantastic Volume 1 dropped. And I just remember when Slum Village Fantastic Volume 1 dropped, and I remember being blown away. Like that somebody from where I'm from could sound like this. And it was just totally different. Like it wasn't the same super, like I feel like a lot of early hip hop all had that same TR-808 sound. It had that same
right
super electronic ass sound. And this one felt lush. Like Dilla sounded like a band. He sounded like a conductor. Like it was super lush sounds over the biggest, dirtiest drums, and I hadn't heard anything like that. Like I felt like Tribe and De La were the closest things that I had heard to that, but it wasn't that. So and just his drums alone, that was enough for me. So yeah, the drums always played a big part, especially being from here. I feel like I'm from the space where the best drum programmer is from.
For sure, man. So in 2001, you and Fat Father start the Fat Killahz with Bang Belushi and King Gordy. How did that come about?
So again, shouts to my man Chris Cobb, RIP. He used to produce and run a group here called the Teamsters. And Fat Father was one of the artists in the Teamsters. So when I started, there was an open mic here called the Lush, where it was like, my generation's hip hop shop. So, we would go there every Wednesday and rap and blah, blah, blah. And that's where I started like making my name and making my bones. And my man Cobb introduced Fats and I, and we instantly clicked, like super clicked. And he has such an old demeanor that it shocked me when I found out that he was only like a year older than me. You know what I'm saying? So here I am being 20, and this 21-year-old is talking to me like he's my uncle. Like it was infuriating. But we clicked up instantly. That was my man. He was the iron that I sharpened, you know what I'm saying, my sword against. And we were outside of this club one night, and we were just joking around because, we were the same person, super, crack on anybody, super personable. And Fats looked at me and he said, he's like, man, I'm fat, you fat. I'm a killer, you a killer. We should be the Fat Killahz. And it started as a joke. And my man Cobb, he put it together because he was also working with King Gordy at the time. This was right before Gordy had got signed to Web Entertainment. So he was working with Gordy. We went into the studio and Cobb did the beat and we did the song and we put 3 verses on it and we didn't have a hook. So Cobb was like, yo, I think I know somebody who can do the hook. And it turned out to be Bang. And then we sat back, we listened to the song, and we all realized how much easier it was to write 1/16 as opposed to writing 3/16s and a hook at that time. And we were just like, man, let's try it out. Let's just see what we come up with. And it took off. We took off super quick. There was no learning curve. There were no setbacks. It was off to the races. The Fat Killahz really, really, really took off. So that's how the group started.
How would you describe the success that you guys experienced together along with the brotherhood?
How would I describe it? I don't know. I think it was frightening for me. It was frightening for me because it almost felt like Icarus. You know what I'm saying? We got really, really, really close to the sun. We got really close to the sun really quickly. It went from being a joke to 7-8 months later, us being offered major deals. You know what I'm saying? It went from starting out as a joke to Eminem being like, yo, y'all got something. This is it. It was meteoric, bro. It was quick. It was college for me. You know what I'm saying? It was college for me because I'm sitting in a room I've always been the best person in the room. And now I'm sitting in a room with other people who, if I'm not on my best, I won't make this song. You know what I'm saying? So it was legit college for me. And those were the best times in my professional career, just being around 3 other people who I genuinely admired, who I was genuine fans of, and who I genuinely loved. These are the same people who we would pool together money and buy boxes of chicken or, $5 hot and ready's because if my brother was hungry, I was going to help him eat and vice versa. So it was needed. That's what I'll say. It was needed. It was necessary for me. It was necessary.
Now, you were saying that King Gordy, he was signed to Web Entertainment, right? Which is the Bass Brothers.
Yep.
Right. So was there ever a time that you guys considered signing to them?
Yes. Yes. We actually there was a short time where we were slated to sign to Web Entertainment, if memory serves correct. We did a lot of joints over Bass Brother Beats. I handled a lot of production at that time too. It just didn't. In order to keep our relationship respectful, we decided to go another way, simply because, we didn't like the creative control that they tried to implement. You know what I'm saying? Like, our thing was, we know people are going to look at us immediately because we're bigger than everybody else, right? Like, that's the draw. But it doesn't have to be a gimmick. It doesn't have to be corny. And it started teetering on the edge of corny. So, respectfully, we decided to remove ourselves from that situation.
So was it like being marketed too much on that side?
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, our whole thing, and we may have been naive as well, not necessarily knowing how good of a selling point it was. But again, we hadn't had any failures. We hadn't had any bumps in the road. It was just like, hey, we're 4 really good rappers who just happen to be fat. And that was it. It wasn't like we were dressing up in costumes or outfits. We didn't make songs about being fat. Like, we didn't have songs dedicated to food or stuff like that. And then, it just became the focal in other people's eyes. And I personally, being super young, being 23, 24, is just like, we could find something else. And, that's what it was for me.
And the Bass Brothers, they're very talented musically.
Super.
Right? Like their production and everything like that. Like, how was it like working with them in that regard?
Well, incredible. Like, we had all come up under Mark and Jeff. Like,
right.
Like, we had all known them like forever. So it was like, we knew what they were capable of. And it was just, that's why we decided, in order to keep that relationship, not to have a business one.
For sure, man. What year was it that you battled at Scribble Jam?
I never battled at Scribble.
You never battled at Scribble?
I never battled at Scribble. Was there a
reason why you never battled at Scribble?
So I never battled at Scribble because there was another battle MC from here named Swan.
Right.
Who went to Scribble. And he did really well. And I didn't think that my style of rap would fit what they were doing in Scribble. Like, Scribble was super, all your shoes look like I wasn't, or all your shirt and it wasn't, like, I wasn't one of those rappers. Like, although I still had humor in my bars and I still had personality, I wasn't necessarily a funny rapper. And that's what I thought worked at Scribble.
That's what that audience called for.
You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't necessarily my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Swan had went down there and did so good. Like, it just felt like that was his lane. That was his world. And I would be encroaching on that. So I never did Scribble.
So what was the early battle rap days for you like?
Early battle rap days for me we had so many battles here in the city. There used to be a shop named Caboodles, a record store named Caboodles, where you could go and battle. We would throw battles at the Lush, which were like huge battles. They would throw battles on the top floor of St. Andrew's Hall that Proof used to host. They would throw battles here at a club called Alvin's. They would throw battles here at a club called Pappuccino's. Like, you could find a battle almost every night of the week here in Detroit. And there were so many good battle MCs, whether it was Quest, whether it was Miss Corona, whether it was Swan or Cliff Note, Doc Waffles, Swan, 40G, Killer Khan. Like, there were a lot of really, really good battlers to cut your teeth on. And that's why when I went out of town when I started going out of town to battle other people, that's why I was successful, because I always felt like my best competition was at home. I wasn't necessarily scared. I wasn't scared of the people who were supposed to be the big dogs out of town, because I didn't think that they were better than the people that I had to randomly face on a Wednesday in Hamtramck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't scared of them. I was scared of Fat Ray. You know what I'm saying? I was scared of Super MC. Like, I wasn't scared of these people. So the battle scene here was, and this is before the whole 8 Mile thing. Like, it was just like, hey, come on, like, I'm better than you. I'll meet you at this club. Let's let the people decide. So that's where I got my fearlessness for battling.
And we're talking, obviously, at this time, this is freestyle battling off the top of the dome.
It depends. There were some people who did impromptus, and there were some people who had writtens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely leaned more toward the impromptu freestyles. But I definitely remember Proof and Bizarre throwing a battle event here and then bringing in Murda Mook, like, before any of us knew who he was. And
what year is this?
Oh, 05, maybe?
Oh, wow. Okay.
05? I'm still fairly young. 05, 06, maybe?
So this is like after Smack DVD, though.
So this is right at the cusp of Smack DVD. This is before Smack DVD had really infiltrated here in Detroit. And Mook came down here and smoked stuff. And we were on stage, like, we were in the crowd like, oh my God, this is the best rapper we've ever heard. Until those Smack DVD started infiltrating, and we remembered the stuff that he was saying on stage, like, oh, yo, he said this before. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, the climate definitely changed. And I remember being very angry with Proof, like, yo, like, you kind of set us up. And Proof told me, like, yo, Marv, you're in a fight. Like, you're at war. Like, you bring your best weapon to the war. Like, if you're a better writer than you are a freestyler in the moment, then you bring your writtens, because that's what you're stronger at. And ever since then, you know, we made the transition to what we see battle rap is now.
Right. So you battled on Fight Club, though, right?
So I went to New York to battle on Fight Club, yes, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen because of a fight that happened, and the event, you know what I'm saying? Like, the night got shut down.
Well, can you talk about why?
No, I can't. But okay. A fight happened. Yeah, and they kind of shut the event down. But
what year is this?
This is after 8 Mile.
Oh, okay.
This is after 8 Mile, and the only reason I know is because when I walked in, you know, I heard a couple whispers. I heard a couple murmurs, like, "Oh, that's the 8 Mile nigga." Like, they brought in a ringer. Like, it was one of those kind of things. So I never got to rap on the actual Fight Club, but we did do our own versions here in the city that Proof and Bizarre sponsored, and yeah, you know, I did pretty well. There was a time where battle rap in the city ran through me. Like, it went through me. Like, we've all had our chances, like, to be the man. And there was a time where all the stars aligned. where if it was anybody battling in the city, in order to have any kind of value to their name, they had to come see me.
So when you say, right, like that people were whispering and everything, obviously that this, we're talking about the whole 8 Mile situation. In 2002, you did 8 Mile. You played the role of Eminem, right? You played Eminem on screen?
No, I never played it.
You were on the set of 8 Mile. You actually got to battle M. Yeah. Some people have declared you the winner of that. You've self-declared yourself the winner of that, obviously, as well. You said in the past that he was a jerk and he didn't want to let the young guy shine. What did you mean by that?
Yeah. So, long story short, you know what I'm saying? All of the extras on set for those club scenes were rappers. Like, we all knew each other. Like, so we were basically getting paid to just hang out. The directors felt that the morale of the extras was waning. So they had this competition. Get up here, spit a verse. The winners will be able to be used in like a silent montage, like to show Rabbit's succession to getting to the later battles. So, you know, I did that, ran through that, was one of the people that was picked. And on the day of like the filming or whatever, they were just like, hey, go up there and spit a verse. Like, nobody's going to hear it anyway. So that was at the time where I had battle verses on deck. Like, I just had verses. It wasn't something that I went home and specifically crafted for him. I was a huge fan. I just thought it was something to pass the time. I rapped. And the story goes is that he was supposed to save his voice for actual filming. So he was supposed to be pantomiming into the mic, you know what I'm saying? And they were going to give the crowd cues when to go, oh, damn. But because of the response that I got, because I knew everybody, you know, the competitor in him just wouldn't allow me to have my moment, bro. He just couldn't let me live. You know what I'm saying? Like, he turned his mic on, totally unnecessary. But I'm always super grateful because it definitely changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it definitely changed my life. It has. I've done things since then that I'm also just as proud of.
Right.
But I know that that's the thing that people know the most. So that's always the topic of conversation that people want to have. And it's cool. You know, it's cool. Sometimes it can get a little overwhelming. It can become a little overbearing. Just because, you know, a lot of people may feel that your career has stopped right then. But
which obviously your career went skyrocketed from there.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, I'm eternally grateful. I'm eternally grateful, man. So yeah, you know, he wouldn't let me have my moment, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. That's my man. I'm forever grateful to him. I'm forever grateful to him for that.
But you're leaving out the important part that you didn't even want to do it at first.
I didn't. And
then you told your manager and he cussed you out.
I told Hex I wasn't interested. And he had some very choice words for me. And I did it. And I'm glad that I listened. I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I did it for sure. Because it changed my life. At that time, being able to show my mom them mention me on Entertainment Tonight or Extra or whatever was popping at that time. It changed a lot of things. It gave a lot of validity. It gave a lot of validation to the choices that I was making at the time.
Mm-hmm. Did you have prior interactions with M before then?
I knew of him. We had very, very small interactions. I don't know if I made an impression enough to be memorable. But yes, I was a huge fan. I bought his EP. I bought the Slim Shady EP. He personally handed me a flyer for his Slim Shady EP. I went up to Blockbuster Music on 8 Mile and Greenfield and bought his EP. I bought the tape. So yeah, definitely. There is footage of us on the same show when I was 16 around that time too, like at a spot called the Fat House that he rapped at. I think it may have been his release party, and I just rapped at the open mic. So like we always, I'm not gonna say always, but we definitely intermingled like in the same spots with the same people. But that's my man. That's my man now. So I don't know if I had made a huge impression, you know what I'm saying, enough to be remembered. But he remembered me after that day.
Now, you also were on record before saying that like people can't say they didn't make $1 with M because people on the set of 8 Mile got paid, right?
Yeah. All of the extras were rappers. All of the extras were rappers, bro. And they paid us. They fed us just to be there. And so that's always my argument, because they could have went to Toronto and shot that movie, or they could have went to LA and shot that movie, or hell, even New York and shot that movie. But he did it in the city. And, I won't necessarily say it was life-changing money, but it was money enough where people didn't have to go to their regular jobs. You know what I'm saying? So indirectly, he paid everybody who was a rapper in the city around that time. Like legit.
But, shooting it in the city, right, it had to mean something for Detroit, too, because I feel like it really captured the grittiness of the city, though, right? Like you shooting it somewhere else, it wouldn't give the same vibe, I feel like.
I mean, but we may not have known the difference, because they say that the movie Four Brothers is based out of Detroit, but they definitely shot that in Toronto. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. They shoot a lot of stuff in Canada for some reason.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm assuming it's the tax breaks, you know what I'm saying, that they get.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it meant something to us. It meant something to me, 100%, because these were streets that I knew. These were buildings that I saw. These were people who I interacted with. So, like, I hate when people try to change the narrative of, or create the narrative like, yo, M ain't never did nothing for the city, blah, 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 blah. And I can physically point to like, yo, no, this isn't true, because I can give you 150 to 200 people that he paid. I can give you 150 to 200 people that he fed 3 meals a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that. I hate that.
And you know what? Like, it had to mean something for people to see like them filming the movie in Detroit, though, right? Like say, for example, for kids to see like, oh wow, they really doing it here.
Yeah, definitely. He's the biggest artist in the world. He's the biggest artist in the world at that time.
Yeah.
Biggest artist in the world, like across all genres. He's the biggest artist in the world. And he's over in Highland Park burning down a vacant. Like yeah. Like, it meant something. And a lot of those people have now grown up and they're able to tell those stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it means a lot.
What is your relationship like with Paul Rosenberg?
Paul is my man. Paul is my man. Paul looks out for me. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen him be very supportive of you, like on like postings on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I love Paul, man. Like, Paul is my man. Like, everybody over at Shady Records really, really treats me really, really well. And I'm super thankful for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looked at like an outsider. Like, I get birthday cakes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get Christmas gifts. Like, I'm genuinely thankful for them opening their doors, you know what I'm saying, to me.
Yeah.
Like,
shout out to M and Paul, man. That's dope.
Shout out, man.
So I interviewed Copyright, and he said on the set of 8 Mile, you played his song Bada Bing for Eminem.
So it wasn't on set. It wasn't on the set, but I did play Bada Bing for him. I did play Bada Bing for him.
He said M's reaction was that he didn't react. He didn't say anything.
No.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Man, roll a clip.
Now, Marv Won told me that he played Bada Bing for Eminem on the set of 8 Mile. Because again, I'm an Eminem fan, man. I'm a rap fan, period. So, I've asked questions like this. And he told me that. I was like, you don't want to hear his reaction? You don't want
No, go ahead. Yeah. I want to hear his reaction.
You don't care. Yeah. He didn't have a reaction. That was his reaction.
What?
He didn't have a reaction. He just sat there looking straight ahead. He didn't even respond to the song and shit. So yeah, I brought that up for no reason.
Yeah.
Did you ask him like, yo, what you think?
Nope. But
Did you tell him that, yo, I'm playing you something? Or you just started playing it?
No. So it was around the time that Gordy was signed to where they were, and they both were working out of the same studio. So I would be up there, with Gordy. And if memory serves correct, I was just like, yo, I'm gonna play something. Because I think I stole copyrighted music like off of like Kazai or Napster or something like that. And I was like,
Wire, something.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, Buddy right here is nice. And I played him Bada Bing. Because Bada Bing is still one of my favorite songs. I tell Copy all the time.
Fire song.
Bada Bing is really good. It was Bada Bing and Holier Than Thou. I go back and forth with those like, yo, Copy is crazy. But yeah, I did play it for him. I don't think there was a reaction. I don't know if he thought I was trying to be funny or if I was trying to tell him, like, yo, you ain't the only white boy out here. But I definitely did. I definitely did.
But I feel like I understood why you would play that specific song because of the element. Like it seems something that M would appreciate because of the way Copy rhymes on that song, though.
Yeah, it's bars. Like we're still rappers at heart. And he was Copy goes crazy on Bada Bing.
For sure, man. All right, so in 2003, MTV had the first and I believe only MC battle competition.
No, they had two. They had two.
So were you on the first one or the second one?
I was part of the first one.
First one, right? Okay. So you made it to the semifinals, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the winner would get a deal with Def Jam. So I interviewed RJ Payne, who was formerly Rain Man, that won. And he admitted that he thinks Locksmith actually had the edge on him. So,
did he say that?
Yeah, he did say that. But because, it's funny because on YouTube, they're like, there's a video where they're showing that battle and they're like, Locksmith got robbed. You know what I mean? At the time of the battle, I don't think he felt that. But looking back in retrospect, I feel like he was like a little more mature about it. He's like, yeah, I think that he actually did get the edge on me, Yeah,
hindsight is 20/20, man.
Man, roll the clip.
So by the time I got to Locksmith in the last round, I was done. When I tell you I had no bars battling Locksmith, when I tell you that I was freestyling, I have nothing prepared. That was all God. I give that to God, bro, and the fans, because I thought, honestly, he won. In my head, I said, yeah, he had a cleaner performance. I stumbled a little bit. He won. But what I didn't understand is during that process, MTV had started building a backstory for every artist in the battle. So on top of every battler being there, they would show footage of the artist in their hometown. Like you said, my story of my mom and everybody passing, I think that struck a chord with the people and they kind of really built a backstory for me. So I think the people already had it in their mind that I was going to win. So I think it didn't even matter about me and Locksmith in the final round because they ended up giving it to me. And shout out to Locksmith. He's amazing. In that last round, yeah, I definitely didn't have no rounds for Lock. I'm going to be honest.
Right. But what was your experience like being on there? Because I feel like, even on your Wikipedia page, it doesn't say that you did that. I don't know why.
Yeah, first of all, it's crazy that I have a Wikipedia page. That's insane to me. But no, it was a really, really good experience, man. Like, it was super surreal. Like, in the moment, I didn't appreciate what it was. Because again, like I said, like, everything like was a consistent climb up the ladder. Like I hadn't fallen. You know what I'm saying? So when I look back on it now and being like damn, like I was on TRL. Like, yo, like I went to the little photo booth thing and took pictures. Like MTV like put me up in a hotel for a week. Like I was backstage and Method Man walked up to me like, yo, I know you. I'm like, you don't know me. And he like, nah. And he like, nah, I know you. Like, you was Buddy that's on the 8 Mile thing. I'm like, yeah, that's me. like, it's such a surreal thing that I didn't appreciate in the moment. But I'm super duper grateful. And I was pissed because Locksmith was spitting writtens when he beat me. I was really pissed, but like
they don't have that battle up on YouTube, right?
I think it's up. I know for sure he shared it before, and I'm like, you dirty son of a bitch. He shared it for sure. But yeah, look, there were a lot of good people who I'm genuinely still cool with to this day. I'm super cool with RJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, was super proud of him. I'm cool with Locksmith. There were other people on there. A kid named Red Dot, a young lady named Knight.
She's the one that got disqualified?
Yeah, I think Knight got disqualified.
Yeah.
I think there was a guy named Big Ace. Like, it was a lot of good people. It was a lot of good people in that. And to be on the first one, like to be like in the inaugural one, no one can take that from me. So I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful for that. I had a really good time doing that.
First, let me ask, when they set you up at the hotel, they give you free food too?
No.
They didn't give you free room service or anything?
Oh, hell no.
And, come on.
And that was my first time. That was my first time staying in New York, I think. And the room was the size of a broom closet, bro. But it was, man, what?
Oh, so they nickeled and dimed you guys pretty much.
No, not at all. You got to understand things. And we were right in the middle of Times Square. We were right downtown Manhattan. And everything down there, like price-wise, is inflated. Super.
Yeah.
So they spent a lot of money, but it's just not what I'm used to, you know what I'm saying, space-wise. But the room was the size of a room closet, bro.
That's crazy. So when you end up battling, right, for MTV, and like, I know you don't get starstruck, but you see like who was there? Swiss Beats was there, right? Kevin Lyles, like a bunch of people is there.
Yeah, it was Kevin Lyles. It was Kanye.
Redman was there, right?
Yeah, it was Red and Meth. It was Kanye. I think it was Kevin Lyles.
Wow.
And I think Ludacris too. I think Ludacris was there.
Yeah.
I think
wasn't Keith Murray there?
Keith Murray was there.
Yeah.
Keith Murray was there because I ended up kicking it with Keith Murray and him and my man, the Super MC. They were like the same person. It was weird as hell to me. Like, oh my God. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. But yeah, Keith Murray was there.
All right. So when you end up battling what's
Locksmith? I battled Locksmith.
Locksmith, yeah. Right. When you battled Locksmith, right, and you lost, like, what was your reaction?
I was crushed. I was really, really crushed. Because I thought, and I think a lot of people, like up until that point, I was one of the favorites. I was one of the favorites to win the whole thing because I had steamrolled through like my previous two battles.
Mm-hmm.
I had steamrolled through people. But I was crushed. I was like legitimately hurt. Like I remember like a 2-way, like that's when Motorola 2-way pages were a thing. Right. And I think I 2-way proof, like, man, I'm so sorry, man. I let the city down, blah, blah, blah. Like I felt like I wasn't going to be able to show my face in the city anymore. Yeah. That's what I really, really thought. But, you know, like losing battles hurts regardless of what level you're on. Because you're putting yourself out there. But I eventually got over it and I realized how much of an opportunity and how legendary it was. Legit.
For sure, man. What was your relationship like with Proof? Like, do you remember when you met him?
I've seen Proof off and on like my entire quote unquote career. We used to record in the same spots. He was cool with my man Dale. Me and Proof got cool. Me and Proof got cool, I think, because he started working with a producer named S-Man, who I was also like super duper cool with. But he was he was one of like, he was a huge mentor for me. Like, he was a huge mentor for me, man. Like, he taught me a lot about the game. Proof was the closest thing to a celebrity that I knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy that I could see Proof at the VMAs on one night, and then the next night he would be down at the open mic with us. Like, he was our bridge. So that was my man. I was one of the people that he reached out to when he started his label. I was one of the inaugural artists on Iron Fist. Yeah, Proof is actually the reason why I did the MTV battle. Proof is actually the reason, because they were supposed to do like qualifiers. They were supposed to do qualifiers like in like, I guess, the cities or whatever. And he called me and was like, yo, next week you going to MTV. Like, next week you going to New York to battle. I'm like, what? He like, yeah. Like I submitted your name. Like, you the one. So Proof was my man. That was my legit friend. Like, I genuinely miss my friend. I genuinely miss, one of my mentors for sure. Like, that's my guy. I'm super happy. I'm super duper happy to see one of his sons in the sign do really well. I'm super happy.
He killing it right now, bro.
It fills me with pride, bro. I try not to be overbearing, or I try not to overstep with him, but I'm really, really proud of him. I'm really proud of him.
What was the aura like in Detroit when Proof passed?
Oh man, it's a dark cloud that still hasn't left. Because he was the bridge, like legit. He was the bridge for us. And he was respected in all walks of all of our hip hop circles. So whether you were the most lyrical, miracle, scientifical hip hop guy, or the roughest, toughest, drug selling street rapper, like they all had an unwavering respect and admiration for Proof. So it definitely caused some divides. Like, it definitely broke some bonds that he was the glue for. It was a lot, and it's still a lot.
Do you remember where you were when you got the news that he had passed away?
Yeah. I was at my mom's house. I was getting my little brother ready for school, and my phone rang, and it was Gordy. And Gordy told me the initial report was that Bizarre
got in a shootout or something like that.
Yeah. And supposedly it was that Busy shot Proof. And I was like, what? That don't make no sense. And then he told me that he was at a hospital not too far from me. And I didn't believe it. And then I was getting my little brother ready for school, and they flashed it on the news. They flashed it on the news, and my mama was like, yo, go. And it was a hospital not too far from me. I pulled up in the parking lot, and there was already people gathered there, and you know what I'm saying, like doing the whole, like it was really somber. When I pulled up, like my stomach dropped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll never forget that.
There's still so much controversy about what really happened that night. Mm-hmm. When I interviewed Mark Hicks, right? Shout out to Mark Hicks, that's my guy, man. And he said that like after the incident, like the people had dumped Proof's body outside in the parking lot and stuff like that, and like there's a lot of controversy over what happened. From what you know, like what do you know what happened?
I don't. I wasn't there. I don't want to speculate. I know that the result is still the same. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to speculate just because I wasn't there. I just know whatever happened. I went to sleep. My friend was alive. I woke up. He wasn't. And the particulars of that don't interest me enough because I can't change them. You know what I'm saying?
Especially 20 years later now.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still just as sad as I was 20 years ago. But I don't want to go off hearsay and try to piece together something like that I wasn't there for. And
when I interviewed Mark, he said that like Proof was really like the hub, right? Like he would have so many people go to his grandma's house, I believe it was. Like so many people you would catch there. It's almost like a different version of the hip hop shop where you would like, or Fat Beats or something like that. You know what I mean? Where like so many people would meet and like, and interact with each other and work together.
Well, it was an after hours. Like it was an after hours, bro. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we used to go there.
Can you talk about like your favorite memory of Proof?
So we used to do this thing called the 8 Mile Run, because a lot of our strip clubs were on 8 Mile. So he would do this thing where he would, you know, pick a certain amount of people, and you would go to every strip club on 8 Mile. We would do, I think you go have a drink. You would go have a drink at every strip club. And we went to one club that was downtown. It was called The Grind. And I remember I was sitting next to him. I was sitting next to him in the club. Like we weren't necessarily talking, but I was sitting next to him. And someone approached me and was like, yo, get up. Let me get up for a second and talk to Proof. And I wasn't thinking anything of it just because we were cool with this person. So I got up and the other person sat down. And as they were talking to Proof, Proof turned around, realized that wasn't me, looked up to me while the person was talking. It was like, hey, like, don't ever get up. Like, don't ever get up when you're sitting next to me when somebody tell you to get up. Like, you here with me. Like, you my people. And he made the other person get up. And I was like, bro, it's not that big of an effing deal. But it just showed how much he valued people. You know, like the people that he rocked with, he valued them. And I was super grateful and super honored to be one of the people, you know what I'm saying, that he rocked with. I've eaten at his table. I went to fight parties at his house. I've met his wife. I've played chess with his sons. He had a relationship with my mother. They were cordial. Like, that was legit, my friend. It just so happened that he was in a space where he was standing next to the most famous person in the world and being his confidant. You know what I'm saying? And Proof was the reason that most of us rapped. Proof was the person that we were chasing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so outside of music, like I legitimately miss my friend.
Sure, man. Rest in peace to Proof. Truly a one of one. And anybody that I've ever heard talk about him, describe him in such a special way that it just seems like he had that special bond with like so many people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like he was real different, bro.
Definitely.
So in 2007, you battled on Jump Off World Rap Championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you felt like you got robbed. This was you and Quest McCody, and you guys battled Immaculate and DeSource.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does this come about, the whole WRC?
Money, like the opportunity to win $50,000, which was the most money that I had seen being given away as a prize in battle rap. The crazy thing about that is that Quest and I weren't cool. Like, we were cordial, but we weren't cool. And we both asked Swan to be our partner, and he declined. Like, he was like, I'm not really interested. So we by default, we was like, well, hell, you want to do it? And we ended up doing it. We went really, really far. We went to New York, and the decision was controversial because like we had split the first 2 rounds. They had 1-1, we had 1-1. So in this final round, like we felt we won. So once the decision came down that we hadn't, we was like, bro, this don't make no sense. So we began asking the judges. And one by one, the judges were like, oh, no, that wasn't my vote. Like, I didn't vote for him. I voted for y'all. So then when we brought it to the attention of the owner, the guy who was running it, his name was Harry. In no uncertain terms, he told us, yeah, I overruled that decision. Like, I'm doing what I think is best for my company. And it was just like, bro, like you're playing with our time. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like a lot, like some stuff happened and, you know, the company wasn't able to produce, like their footage and stuff like that. So it was all bad.
Damn, that's terrible, man. So it's like, what's the point of having judges if ultimately you're going to overrule the decision anyways? Yeah. So you don't think that the judges said like they lied to you at all or anything like that because they might have felt intimidated by you guys?
Possibly. I mean, and I possibly thought it could have been, but then once he confirmed that he overruled whatever decision, you know what I'm saying? Then it was like, no, you did this. That's legitimately what it was. It was like, oh, you did this. So, yeah.
How was it better for his company that Ilmac and Desaurus won?
Because they were more popular. They had won the year before too, I believe. They had won the year.
Kind of like the storyline of back-to-back championships and basically.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Yep.
Did you ever have a talk with Ilmac and Desaurus about that?
Oh yeah, we had conversations. We had conversations right there. But you know, for them, you know, they won. So it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like they were both like they were fighting for 50 bands. Like they were fighting for $50,000 too. So I didn't expect them to be martyrs for the situation and be like, oh no,
right?
Give them their win. That's how the cookie crumbled. And
we have to remember that 50,000 is still good money now, but 50,000 then, nearly 20 years ago, was a lot better. Better.
And that was the catalyst. Like, because I had never seen a number that big on battle rap. Like now, I went to spots and bet 5,000 or, you know what I'm saying, did a tournament and won 1,000, but 50, it was like, oh, this is life changing. Or so, you know, so I thought,
right.
Like, oh, so let's get to it. And then for you to make the decision that you are, you know, omnipotent in this situation. It was like, yeah, I'm out. I was like, yeah, I hate y'all.
I hate y'all. And Lush won and FLO was in that same competition too, right?
Yeah. So was Urban Archaic and Jay's Juice and Frankie Wops, and there was a team from Australia, I think 360 and Prime. Yeah, I really haven't went back to it, but it was a dope time though.
They kind of fell off after that, right? The Jump Off brand, pretty much.
Yeah. They couldn't produce what, like some way or another, they ended up losing their footage or something like that. So like they couldn't produce what they were supposed to produce, and yeah, they kind of went under.
So not winning the money was disappointing already, but for you, what really bothered you was the loss of time. Like, you guys wasted my time.
It just felt like if I had lost like fair and square, then I just lost. You were the better man that day. You know what I'm saying? But the fact But the fact that you fiddled, like it was like those movies, like when you go back in time and they tell you, don't change anything, like don't kill a bug, don't step on
butterfly effect type.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and you felt powerful enough to do that with people's time and like, and you, karma caught you instantly. That's all.
So after this, you stopped battling for like 2 years.
I did.
And you just focused on the music at this point. Okay. Was it because like that situation just left you feeling so drained that you didn't want to fuck with it anymore?
Yeah. It took a huge toll on me. I was just like, yo, you know what? Like this shit isn't even worth it at this point. And I felt I had reached my apex. I was like, man, I've done stuff that people will never do. So I'm good. And I did step away. I stepped away for 2 years.
How did you meet Royce the 5'9"?
Well, Royce has always been one of my favorite rappers. I met him from running in the same circles. You know what I'm saying?
You remember the year? Like around what year?
Man, I don't remember the year. But I know when I actually, so we had a couple interactions. And he hates that I tell this story, but he came to the open mic one night. He came to the open mic one night and he had a fur coat on. I'll never forget this. He had a fur coat on. And I introduced myself to him like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm Marv Won, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of blew me off. Like didn't shake my hand, like kind of like pushed past me. And I was like, oh, okay, well, fuck you. And he swears he didn't either. He swears he didn't. But I was like, well, no, fuck you. I'm a person who holds grudges. And
hey, at least you admit it. Yeah.
If I was a superhero, that would be my power, bro. I'm great at holding grudges. So we had a mutual acquaintance who I was like hanging out with one night. And the acquaintance was like, yo, I gotta make a stop real quick. I said, okay. And we pulled up to the studio. And Royce was in the studio. And the acquaintance and Royce are talking, and I'm standing in the back of the studio. And he's playing songs from what would be Success is Certain. So around the time of Success is Certain, he's playing joints and I'm giving him the stone face. Like, but in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, these songs are fucking incredible. But I'm giving him the stone face.
So this is 2011. Cause he releases that album in 2011. So it's like around that time, maybe shortly before.
Maybe 09, 10. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Because Success is Certain.
Was this a long time after the fur coat incident?
Yeah, it was a minute. It was a minute.
Okay.
It was a minute. Was it Success is Certain? Yeah, because we was cool during Street Hop. So it had to be Success is Certain.
Street Hop was like 2006, I believe, or 8. Was it?
Oh, so it may have been Street Hop.
Oh yeah, Street Hop is 2009. So.
And then Success is Certain is 11. So yeah, it was Street Hop. It was 09.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Street Hop had Shake This with DJ Premier.
Yeah. So it was Street Hop. And I'm like, oh my God, these songs. Because there's songs that didn't make Street Hop. And I specifically remember he had a song that Knots did when they remade the Black Sheep. Here they come, yo. Here they come. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. But anyway, I'm in the back of the studio, me mugging. So I'm like, I don't fuck with Buddy. Why we here? And he turned around and he said, hey, what the fuck is your problem? So I said, I don't got no problem. He said, what's up, man? You don't like the joints? I said, no, the joints is good. He was like, what's up? I walked over to him. I said, you know, man, what's up, man? I'm Marv Won. He said, I know who you are, nigga. I said, what? I said, why did you play me at the club? Like, we got to, and then, like, he said he didn't remember it. I remember it vividly. And then since that day, that's been my man. Like, that's been like my guy.
You gotta remember, during that time, he was drinking.
Yeah.
You know, he'd been sober for a long time now. So, and congratulations to him.
Super.
But during that time, yeah, it was a different time period.
Yeah, I didn't care. I didn't.
You gotta love how real you keep it, man.
I didn't care, bro. I didn't care, man. I was like, man, what? But yeah, that's been my man. Like he has been one of the biggest influences. I try not to tell him because I don't want to make our friendship weird. Or I don't want him to think that our friendship is based on me being a fan. But I am one of the biggest Royce the 5'9" fans to ever walk. You know what I'm saying?
Me too,
like,
man. He's definitely one of my favorite rappers of all time, bro.
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Royce is in my top 5, excluding nobody. You know what I'm saying?
He's a good dude too. Like I met him a few times, and man, he's just a real humble dude. He's like a real humble guy, man. So
yeah.
And I've noticed he's been one of your biggest supporters too. Like you guys have done multiple songs together.
Yeah. That's that's legit my guy, man. That's my guy.
And shout out to his brother, Kid Vicious too, man.
Shout out to Vish. Alien Gang. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like
for sure.
I love him, boy.
Have you been in contact with him during this time while he's going through this difficult path with his health and everything?
Yeah. Stay in contact with him.
Is everybody's been worried? Things look like it's on the up and up now. Like he's starting to be okay.
Shouts to Nickel, man. He's a very resilient person. Our relationship hasn't changed, so I always pray, you know what I'm saying, for his mental stability more than anything else. But he'll be back before people know it.
Yeah, man, for sure. Because, man, like, it's been 5 years since Allegory, and I know a lot of fans were like, dang, like, where he been at? You know what I mean? I know he's been doing features and stuff like that, you know, and he was doing the things on Instagram Live with the, you know, having people come up and rap and stuff like that. But a lot of people were waiting on the next album. But it was good to know what was stopping him. But like, obviously, us fans like really felt for him and really hoped the best for him, you know.
Well, man, it was good, man. He will be fine.
Yeah, for sure. And you were supposed to be in a rap group with Royce and Denaun Porter at one point, right?
Man, we are the worst group of all time, bro. We
I saw that post you put up. You're like, we've only put out one song together.
Man, we put out one song, man. Put out one song, bro. All we do is like watch boxing matches, bro, and like go out to eat, bro. Like that's all we do. I'd be like,
brainstorming.
Bro.
That's the brainstorming for the album.
I'd be like, fam, like we could always make songs too, man. And like, we'll get to it. And I just gave up on it, bro. We just friends. We are the worst group of all time.
So how did you guys come up with that idea to even be a group?
So it's a joke. It's just the fact that we all work with each other. Like Denaun is my big homie. You know what I'm saying? Like he took
right.
Like,
you were signed to him at one point too, right?
Yeah, Denaun is my big homie. You know what I'm saying? Like he's shown me a lot about this game. Like professionalism is through the roof. Like the way I carry myself now is it is directly because of the things that he's instilled in me. So, and then him and Royce work really, really closely together.
We got Heaven Studios.
Own a studio together, like all that. So because we were always around each other, it was just like, well, you know, it makes sense. But I just think I think where I wanted to creatively show that I could keep up with two of like my idols, I think they just wanted to be normal. Like they wanted some normalcy. So once I realized that, like, I stopped pressing the issue of like trying to make it business, because I'm sure that they have to do that with so many other people in their lives. You know what I'm saying? I'm super ecstatic and super happy to always share spaces with my friends. And I would rather them be my friend than anything else. So, I mean, yeah, we've done a couple joints. Some have, never seen the light of day. But yeah, we the worst group ever of all time. We the worst group of all time, man. Of all time.
You guys supposed to be an R&B group?
Man, we're the worst group of all time, bro. Like, we're the worst, man. We're legitimately the worst, man. There is no excuse behind it.
But yo, let me say though, like, you recognizing that they wanted a sense of normalcy and you caring more about that is a great reflection of who you are as a person, rather than looking at the upside of like, nah, I want the business because I'm trying to come up more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because those guys are genuinely my friends. Like those guys are like genuinely like my friends. I love them from the bottom of my heart. And our conversations aren't about business. So, and I don't ever want to feel like I'm using my friend for status or a come up or anything. So selfishly, I always want to do shit with my friends, right? But it's not worth me jeopardizing the trust
you guys
that
have built.
You know what I'm saying? It's not worth me jeopardizing the trust that they both instilled in me as their friend. So like it's a running joke. If we did it, it would make a lot of sense. But I'm happier being invited to Christmas dinner than I am to be in the studio all the time.
For sure. And he's saying, because, the fans, they're going to be making fun of you. They're going to be like, of course you want to be invited to dinner, but, but he's talking about being happy to be a part of that circle and feel, amongst brothers like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And Denaun doing his thing right now with Read the PDF. You know what I'm saying? He killing it, bro. So shout out to him. Shout out to Focus. Man, that's my guy.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them joints. Denaun is the most
joints, man.
Denaun is the most underrated producer in the history of hip hop. Like, without question.
He got crazy.
Man,
Denaun
is
for real.
Crazy, bro. Porter is crazy.
I love even the stuff he did on Infinite.
Man, Porter is crazy. Porter is crazy. And if I like. He's the first person I would call if I ever got a budget. First person I call. Like, come on. Like, just steer me in the right direction.
How did you end up linking up with Grind Time?
Well, I've always been cool with Direct. Like, Direct is.
Shout out to Direct.
Like, I don't want to oversell it, but Direct has always been like me and Quest little homie. Like, that's our man. And he saw an opportunity and he kicked the doors off the hinges. Him, Mad Ills, a young lady named Melody Lenore, later bringing in Lush One, Grind Time, Poison Pen, PH, RIP PH. Yeah, Grind Time like definitely became the biggest game in town, and Direct is directly the reason that I came back to battle rap. Like, he made a phone call, told me they were throwing a huge event, and asked me if I would be willing to come outside for a kid from St. Louis named Averb. And at the time I wasn't knowledgeable, but I think I saw like two of the rounds that he had with Hollow, and I was like, oh, he nice. And
he killed it. He killed it in that footage you're talking about too.
For sure. And I had the itch. I had the itch, and my friend had asked me like, hey, like it's been a long time since they've seen you, like they're asking about you, like, and then I just wanted to see if I could keep up with what battle rap would ultimately become. But I just wanted to see if I can make the transition from being a primarily impromptu freestyler to being able to craft rounds specifically for a person. And I think Verb and I had a classic battle. I always say I got the version of Averb before he was able to use his superpowers. And I think that I helped push that along a little. But Averb is a absolute Mount Rushmore candidate. He may be the best rapper. He may be the best battle rapper or the most important battle rapper from the Midwest. And I do my thing too, man. Especially at that time, man. I do my thing, man. Like I'm not a big bragger. Like it ain't my deal,
right?
But I'm one of them too, man. I'm one of them.
So this is 2009 when you make your return, right? So obviously 2 years after the WRC in 2007. And what is your impression of Grind Time at that time when you see in some of the battles and the audience that it is, playing to?
I didn't think it could get any bigger. I didn't think it could get any bigger. I won't lie. Like I was impressed. I was impressed at the size of the event. I was impressed with all of the people that they were able to secure. I was impressed with the size of the crowd, the production level, like everything. I was like, oh my God, like they took something that we were doing in our high school lunchrooms and on corners, and they made it a production. Like it's huge now. So I was blown away by it. I still didn't know that there were levels that it was going to reach that were higher than this. But at the time, I didn't think that there was anything bigger. I didn't think that there was going to be anything bigger than Grind Time, for sure.
Now, as somebody that, has battled in Grind Time, King of the Dot, URL, so many other rap leagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would you say Grind Time influenced these other leagues?
It showed them how to do business. It showed them how to do business. Like it showed them how to make it a viable commodity. It showed them, you know what I'm saying? It showed them that it doesn't always have to be the gritty, grimy, angry type of rap. Like there are other people. There are people who may want to laugh. There are people who may want to see, a lighter, a more lighthearted version of battling.
Not just street bars.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I was super happy for my man because Direct is my guy. Direct is my guy. So super happy for him. And I think it showed them. I think it opened up the minds of the people. It opened up the minds of the people who would later become the big dogs. You know what I'm saying?
How did you feel when it fell apart?
I was distraught for my man. I was distraught. I was distraught for my man because I know how much work that he had put into it, and I know a lot of the hits that he took in order to make it a thing. And just everybody. Like I was cool with everybody. I hated that Lush had built up that Fresh Coast scene, and now he has to find another avenue for it. I hated that a lot of the times when people tell the story about Grind Time, that they leave out Melody Lenore. Like she wasn't a huge part of that. I hate
her name never gets brought up.
Exactly, which I think is, you know, which
actually, I think you're the only person that I've interviewed so far that I've asked about Grind Time that has brought up her name.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That I think is, you know, I think is bullshit. You know, I hate all of the stuff that Matt Ills ended up going through. But ultimately, I just hated where it felt like people were losing an outlet to be creative. You know what I'm saying? I hated that. I hated to see that.
For sure, man. But you know, Grind Time became like a punchline for the other leagues.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you on that nerdy rap Grind Time and all this stuff like that. Like, how did you feel about that? Everyone else took like their format though, and then
I mean, yeah, like that's always how it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's always going to add their own spice to something to make it their own. But it didn't bother me. Like it didn't bother me because I'm comfortable with who I am, like as a person. And then, you know, for me, I was a 1099 rapper, bro. I was contracted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it didn't bother me. I hated that people tried to shit on the legacy that my man had built or tried to. You know what I'm saying? But you can't tell the story of battle rap without Grind Time. Grind Time was the absolute. At one time, Grind Time was the apex. It was the pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? So
it was all over World Star. It was crazy. For sure.
Yeah. They were the first to do a lot of things. So, shouts to my man.
Yeah, shout out to Direct, man, and Lush, Poison Pen, Mad Ills, everybody.
Definitely.
So in 2012, you battled Math Hoffa. I spoke to the homie Poison Pen, and he wants to know if you still owe him one for the Math Hoffa battle.
What a fade? I owe him a fade.
That's he said that you said it was one of your rare missteps. It wasn't one of your better performances.
So no, it wasn't. But it was also that was ego too. You know what I'm saying? But it was ego, and it was also me. I was. So that battle for me was right after Math had battled Calico, who's also, you know, my young boy from Detroit. And, you know, the general consensus is that Cal won. So in my mind, when that battle got brought to me, my ego was like, oh, you can be the nail in the coffin. Now, what I didn't pay attention to is you never want to be somebody's comeback battle. You know what I'm saying? You never, ever, ever want to be somebody's comeback battle.
Because he took like a year off, right?
You know what I'm saying? You never want to be somebody's comeback battle. And you never want to be somebody's comeback battle in their city, in their hometown.
That's true.
But my ego was so high at that time that it was like, oh, I can just get Math the fuck out of here. And I was doing things in that battle, and this is why I say it's a misstep. I was doing things in that battle that weren't normally of me. So at that time, there was a trend of like the slow it downs and like all that shit. And I was doing those in that battle to prove that I could write. You know what I'm saying? Write like that, or write like what was current. And it didn't hit. Like none of it hit. But I will say, and I'll always give Math his credit. Math won that battle. I will say that there are people in that crowd who, anytime I got a good line off, they legitimately told people in the crowd, yo, chill. Like they fucking drowned. Like I don't know if they intimidated the people to not fuck with me, but you can hear it in the footage. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, the second and third rounds, it was like people didn't respond to a lot of stuff that you said, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
man,
you know what I'm saying?
I look, because you can hear people say, "Chill," and I told Mav after the battle, like y'all lining me up, like you lining me up, like you had people out there. But you know, like shouts to Mav, that was a learning experience for me for sure. just, you know, that everything that glitters. Like I was so anxious to be like, oh, if my little man beat him, I know I can get him the fuck out of here. And I didn't prepare properly. Properly.
You're missing the fact that also you lost someone prior to that battle.
I did.
In a closed casket funeral, so you weren't in the right mindset. When you went to do the battle.
I try to not use that as an excuse because I still showed up, right? But the reality is that I wasn't going to do the battle. I lost someone super duper close to me, someone who was like a sister to me, and I lost her in a super, super senseless, violent way. And I cared about the battle, but I didn't care about the battle. I didn't care about the battle. And you know,
life shit was happening.
Yeah, but it's no excuse because I still showed up. So I can't ask for sympathy, or I can't ask for, you know, someone to give me an out because I still showed up. You know, but the reality is that I wasn't there, bro. Like I wasn't
I wouldn't say that that's like a full-on excuse. I just think that it's a little caveat, like for some context too, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So
definitely.
I'm not saying that it should weigh a lot, but you know, it's just a little consideration at the same time. You know,
definitely.
Because if Math can use eating one meat stick and taking a shot of Hennessy for why he punched Serious Jones, then, you know, I mean, you can definitely say, you know,
Jesus Christ.
You remember that? You know what I'm talking about too.
The meat stick is the crazy part. Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Math. I'm just messing around, but you know what I mean.
Salute.
But did that make you feel way towards Poison Pen? Was that why he said that you felt like you owe him one or something?
No, that's my guy. I love Pen. Like outside of rap, that's my guy. That's a good
dude, man.
That's one of my OGs, man. Him, PH, Swave always took care of me. They always take care of me when I'm in those spaces. So yeah, I don't have it'll never be like that with me and Peter.
For sure, man. So 2014, Total Slaughter happens. You, Disaster, Cortez, T-Rex, Daylight, Math Hoffa, Big T, A-Verb, Arsenal. First of all, why they put you and Big T in the same room together?
I think they're trying to be funny. Big T had the worst sleep apnea I'd ever heard in my life. Like it was fucking insane. Like it was really insane. It was really, really bad. Like I went from being mad to scared for my friend. Like he might die. Like they sat security by our door. You know what I'm saying? To like monitor his breathing. Like it was really, really bad.
Didn't you say he was screaming in his sleep too?
Yeah, it was really, really, really bad.
Was he screaming from like gasping for air, or was it like for like nightmares, or like what?
Man, I don't know. Possibly both.
You didn't have a talk with him about it?
Hell no. I was like, bro, you need to go to the doctor. But you need to go to the doctor. Legit.
That's crazy, man. So another thing, people thought you got on the show because you're cool with Royce, but you said that you got on the show because other people turned it down.
Yeah.
Why would anybody want to turn down that look?
It was short money. And I think we were entering an era where people were valuing their payment more than the opportunity. So yeah, I initially wasn't on the show. It was Slaughterhouse's baby, and at that time, all of them were in Detroit. And like I said, you know, me, Royce, Denaun, we were recording out of the same studio, so they were there as well. And I was around for you know, them putting it together. And at the last minute, someone who they had confirmed pulled out of the show, and it was
you can't reveal who?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But at the last minute, someone pulled out of the show that was confirmed, and it was just kind of like, oh shit, Marv, you in? And I was like, what? I was like, Marv, you in? Like, you got to do it. So that's how I ended up on the show. It wasn't necessarily due to me being cool. Like, there was no nepotism involved. It was just like, I feel the void.
Got you. Okay. And so how long was the shooting for? Because they only put out 4 episodes, but I heard there was so much footage that they did not put out.
Yeah, but it was only like 3-4 days. It was like a weekend. Like, it was super quick. It was super quick, man. It was super quick. It was just the 24 hours of footage. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was super quick. It was legit like a weekend, like Friday to Monday type shit.
Why was your reaction? I got to battle Rex today when that got announced.
For television, bro. Like, I didn't give a fuck. It was for television though. Like, trying to sell drama, trying to sell the idea of feeling like it had been set up. So of course, we knew that Rex was coming into the house.
That's what I was just about to ask you.
Yeah. Like, we knew that Rex was coming into the house, but what we didn't know is we didn't know who he was going to pick to battle. You know what I'm saying?
So did they tell you to sell it?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So we didn't know who he was going to battle, who he was going to pick. And I was ready for Rex, for sure. Like, I had rounds for Rex. And but he ended up picking Cortez. It made for great TV. Tez ended up losing his bed, which was crazy because we're in New York. I just would have went the fuck home. Like, you wouldn't have had me sleeping on the couch. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, it was just for TV. It was just for TV sake.
Mm-hmm. Were you disappointed by your performance?
Oh yeah, super. Only because and this is how me and Queen's Flip met. Queen's Flip was super duper cool with Rex, or so I thought. And in the middle, like, in me rapping, like, Flip was yelling while I was rapping, and it distracted me. And it was just like, yo, like, you're trying to sabotage me.
That's why Disaster said what he did. That was Queen's Flip that did that?
That was Queen's Flip. Yeah. That was Queen's Flip.
Some bullshit, Queen's Flip. I like Queen's Flip too, but damn, come on.
Yeah,
man.
No, Flip is my man. Flip is my man. But it's no excuse. Like, I've been in situations where, you know what I'm saying, people have tried to distract me or, throw me off, and it doesn't. But that time it did. Maybe it was different because of the lights and the cameras and shit like that. But yeah, it threw me, and it was just like, well, you blew it. It was like, get the fuck out of here. But yeah, I was super disappointed, just because you always want to put your best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? In any competitive space. So yeah, I was pissed. I was super pissed. Extra pissed.
How would you describe your overall experience with Total Slaughter, though?
I was super dope, man. I can say, hey, I was on the first battle rap reality show. You know what I'm saying? Love, hate, or indifferent. You know what I'm saying? We can't dispute fact. And the fact is, I took part in something that has now become huge. You know what I'm saying? So I'm forever grateful, super humble behind it.
What do you think was done right, and what do you think could have been improved about that situation?
The only thing that I think could have been done a little better was the length of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we crammed a lot of stuff into
4 days, like
4 days. You know what I'm saying? 3-4 days. Like, we crammed a lot into 3-4 days. Other than that, everything was smooth, man. Everything was really good. Like, I love the way it came out. Like, it was super dope to be able to tune in every week and see battle rap on the big screen.
I was sad when they didn't come back for a season 2 because, you know, they said that M felt like he didn't want to make it seem like he was taking away from the culture or something like that, you know, when there was criticism.
Oh, I'm not sure. I never heard it. I never heard that.
Yeah.
I never heard that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the reasoning was behind them not doing a second one, but you know, they got Mook and Lux, you know what I'm saying? And that's a big thing. So
right.
Like they did their job, in my opinion.
In 2017, the movie Bodied came out.
Uh-huh.
How did you feel about that movie? Do you think it was a good representation of battle rap culture?
I think it was a representation. Whether it was a good one or not, that's subjective. But I think it was a representation. It was written by a battle rapper. Shouts to my man, Alex Larson, aka Kid Twist from Toronto. Kid Twist actually wrote Bodied. So it's coming from a genuine source or a reputable source. It wasn't the battle rap I was used to. It wasn't the battle rap that I grew up on. It wasn't the battle rap that I was currently participating in. But I'm always happy for anything that helps pushes the culture forward or provides opportunities for people in the culture. And I think that was really big for Diz to get the role that he played, and shouts to Lux and Hollow. Like, it was really good.
The little cameos from everybody and stuff.
Yeah, it was really good to see my friends in that space. So that's what I'll take away from it. Wasn't the biggest fan of the movie, I won't lie, but I didn't hate it. And, you know, I knew what it was for.
What about it didn't you like that you made you not the biggest fan? Was it like they made it too palatable for like the masses, basically?
Yeah. I think so. I don't think it was proper representation of what we do or the work that we put in to provide fans with 3 clean rounds. So like what people don't understand, and why I hate that it feels like it minimalized battle rap, is that we're the only people who have to come up with brand new material every time we get on the stage. Every time we get on stage, it has to be something that you've never heard before. And that isn't, we're the only artists who can't do a greatest hits. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a lot. And that's like you have kind of like a little bit of a saying, like you ain't got bars like that. You could do a little bit of that inside your round. Yeah. You can have slogans. You got slogans, right. but you're gonna have to come up with brand new. You're gonna have to reinvent the wheel every time you sit down, and that's a lot. Like, it's a lot. So it kind of felt like it marginalized it. You know what I'm saying? That was my initial thought, but I was able to pull the positives from it. Again, shouts to my main Kid Twist.
Yeah, it gave a lot of people some good looks. So I totally see what you're saying, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Absolutely, man. And to your point, though, like if you don't, if you write something semi-similar that might sound the same or something, you might have somebody like Joe Budden saying, like, I heard half that verse before.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we're always under scrutiny. We're always under scrutiny, bro. So,
for sure. You've been through so many eras of battle rap, right? What is your preference? Freestyle, written? Was it hard for you to make that transition?
So my favorite era is the current era.
Okay.
Just because so many people are able to provide for themselves and their families by doing something that they love. So I'm always happy for that. It wasn't difficult to make any kind of transition because I'm an artist first. I've always been a writer first. The freestyle, like the impromptu freestyling, was just, you know, a muscle that you exercise. But writing is actually a lot easier because I feel like my pen is better than 99.9% of people. So that was like, oh, this is the cheat code for me. So it was super welcomed when the game shifted to more of a writing, memorizing kind of
and knowing who you're gonna battle and everything like that.
That's right. Definitely need it.
Now, as far as like the audience, right? Which audience have you liked more? Like from like a Grind Time to, you know, King of the Dot to URL? Like, what do you feel most comfortable audience-wise performing in front of?
So just because I'm kind of a fucking sadist, I prefer going into crowds where I am the villain, where I'm the heel, and that's usually in URL. So I love those crowds when people try to act super street, or, you know, try to tell you that you aren't a representative of them. And I love going in there and turning those crowds. You know what I'm saying? I love going there and I love going in there and snatching their respect.
Yeah, wouldn't you say like the URL audience or the crowd is kind of like the Apollo crowd? Like you got to win them over.
Yeah, for sure.
In a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you like doing more of like the ruthless kind of bars versus like throwing in some of the funny jokes?
Yeah, I'm only because I felt like I got typecast as the funny guy when Quest and I did the WRCs. Just because, you know, like it made sense. But yeah, it definitely feels it definitely felt like people weren't receptive to the fact that I can actually rap. So I kind of shy away from the humor thing.
In 2020, you participated in the King of the Dot tournament for $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
The battle was in LA. You went against Saint, who is from LA.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of controversy over the ruling of that battle.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about that?
You know, I felt that they made the wrong decision. And I thought it was a glaring wrong decision. But at the same time, I was also very, very happy for the young boy Saint. That is a hell of an accomplishment to have under his belt. And again, I did that tournament as a direct, after a conversation with Direct, like that. Like I was unhappy. I was unhappy with something. And Direct told me like, yo, you can use this as your platform to express your unhappiness. And it just started picking up steam. And I think me winning that tournament wasn't the feel-good story that I think the company may have wanted. Because again, I'm a contracted 1099 rapper. I don't have any affiliation, like I don't have any loyalty to this company. And Saint was very vocal and adamant about his desire to wanting to be exclusively a King of the Dot rapper. So even if it wasn't manufactured that way, it makes for a better story. You know what I'm saying? But I still stand by the fact, or I still stand by the opinion that battle wasn't close. I thought I showed levels and I thought that I cleared Saint. But shouts to him. I know he took some of that money and spent it on his mom, which is super duper dope to see.
You know what I love about what you're saying, bro, is that you could really see how much you really are for the culture. Because, of course, like from a selfish standpoint, who doesn't want $50,000, right? Mm-hmm. And who doesn't want like the bragging rights or whatever, the notoriety from that? But at the same time, it's like you can't be too mad because you're like, this is good for the culture still, and it's good for another man, you know, that to help his family out or something like that. And I think that's why people see how authentic you are, how real you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's super, like, I'm stamped. I'm cemented. Like, nobody will ever be able to take away what I've done in battle rap. Nobody will ever be able to tell the story of modern battle rap without my name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with that. Of course, like you said, the bread would have been nice. The recognition would have been nice. But it's not the end all be all when it comes to who Marv Won is in battle rap.
Right. But did that situation kind of like sting like the WRC? Like, was it like a parallel for you in a way? You're like, damn, like kind of like another situation.
Kind of. But I felt like this was more personal. Because I have a relationship with the company. I didn't have a relationship with Jump Off. You know what I'm saying? This one felt like y'all playing with me, but you know, I'm over it.
How many people came up to you after that battle and was
all of them, every last one of them,
really,
every last one of them.
Wow,
every last one of them, every last one of them.
Did you have a talk with Saint after the battle though?
Yeah, congratulations, little bro. Don't let this be the last thing you do.
Damn, Marv, you such a real one, bro. Man, salute to you, bro.
Come on, man. That's what I be trying to tell these folks. It's just,
man, yo.
Yeah, because what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna argue about a decision that I have no ability to change.
Right.
I just let the public speak, and the general consensus is y'all played in Marv face. Now what I did was I gave myself space and time to calm down, because my initial reaction or my initial thought was to be less than professional. But you know, that does nothing for anybody involved. So I gave myself space to calm down before I spoke on it.
Did you ever have a talk with Organic about the situation though?
Immediately after the ruling, and you know, it was before I had time to calm down. So I'm not sure what was said verbatim, but you know, just asked him to give me some time.
Got you, man. All right, when you battled Pat Stay, right, and he spoke about your autistic brother the way he did, did you feel like a line was crossed? Like, is there lines in battle rap that shouldn't be crossed?
So there aren't lines in battle rap. But I do think there are lines in friendship. And up to that point, me and Pat were cool. We had like a disagreement, but I didn't view him as an op or an enemy. And at that,
you can't talk about what the disagreement was about.
I don't even remember. Like, you know what it was? It was. I battled Lil Pesci, and Pat was drunk, and he was messing up. He was messing up the footage. So I kind of called him out on it, and he felt away. So yeah, our riff was minor, and to see it get to that point, to see what path he chose to attack me, you know, it just let me know that nothing is sacred. You know what I'm saying? Or nothing was sacred. So in the moment I had a lot of thoughts. And you know, luckily we were able to become somewhat cool again, you know, as time progressed. But in the moment, I was really thinking about, damn, if I go to jail over here, it's going to be a bitch trying to get out. It's going to be a bitch trying to get home. A lot of things went through my mind.
And obviously you in his territory, so it's like he's deeper with people.
Yeah, no, but at that time it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
At that time it didn't matter because it was no one but us in that ring. You know what I'm saying? So
how did he know that information about you though?
So it's the reason why I don't post personal shit online anymore. You got it from a Facebook post. He got it from a Facebook post where I was talking about my brother. And yeah, it's the reason that I don't really post personal things anymore because of that.
Yeah, man. You know, like I think that people underestimate how much tolerance you have to participate in battle rap when you have another grown man rapping, spitting sometimes in your face, basically, you know, like it's like coming out and saying the most vicious, you know, stuff you could possibly imagine, right? That in a regular situation, if somebody said even the slightest closest thing to that, you swinging. Definitely. Right. But in this situation, you obviously have to take it, or else, you know, you're going to be getting that stamp of kind of like what Math went through with, you know, kind of getting a little blackballed, having that stain on your name and everything. And, you know, people not wanting to book you, or it's a tough thing, right? You know, because you kind of, you signed up for it. This is what you signed up for. But I totally see where you're coming from, because it's like, yeah, there's no lines in battle rap, but at least there's like kind of like, I thought we had somewhat of a rapport. So,
yeah. But, you know, RIP Pat, man. I'm super happy to hear that, you know what I'm saying, the fucking coward who took him away will never see the light of day again. So I pray that his family finds some peace and solace in that, you know what I'm saying, his kids and his girl. Legit.
Yeah, for sure, man. And so what was your reaction when you found out that he passed away, and especially the way that he did?
Oh man, it was heartbreaking. Because like I said, we had worked on building our relationship back to a certain point. So we were good. You know what I'm saying? We were good. And just to hear how it happened, it was heartbreaking, bro. It's the last thing that I would have expected.
You know, that situation, though, from what people describe, is kind of like very on brand for his character of like wanting to help people. Would you say that that's true?
Yeah, from everything that I've seen, yes. Yeah, from everything I've seen.
Definitely a big loss for battle rap, man. And how did you feel about the people like Game or Whack 100 saying what they did after he had passed?
Some things aren't worth discussing. You let people people ultimately will pay for, you know what I'm saying, like the energy that they put into the world. So
I like that.
You know,
I like that. Yeah,
sure, you know, and it ain't my place. It ain't my place to place judgment. But like corny shit is corny shit. Like once you corn, bro, you shut. So it's like stay there.
Well, R.I.P. to Pat, man, and
definitely,
and bless his family. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
What did you think of what Mickey Fax said about Eminem not being a battle rapper?
He's entitled to his opinion.
Do you agree with that though? What he said?
No, because I've seen him battle. So if he wants to say that it's not, he wasn't, that he didn't participate in modern day battle rap, that's fine. But we're like, that man did the Rap Olympics, bro. Like that was a battle rap competition. You know what I'm saying? It may have just been different eras, but he's a battle rapper, bro. Like I didn't understand the logic behind it. I also didn't try. So
Well, let me say quote what he said, because he said Eminem was not, I repeat, not a battle rapper. He was an underground artist who participated in rap competitions. Battle rappers take weeks and months to prepare for their opponent. Battle rappers were birthed at Mook versus Lux. MCs before that freestyled or wanted music careers.
Yeah, so I agree with the idea of people using battle rap as a springboard. But that is also like, if he's saying that Eminem isn't primarily a battle rapper, then I'll agree with that. Because there are people who don't have aspirations of being artists. Like, they just specifically want to be battle rappers. But to say that he wasn't, and to say that Craig G wasn't, or to say that someone like Mad Skills wasn't, or to say that LL wasn't, or Kumo D wasn't, like, is just incorrect. It's incorrect. Like, there are different caveats. And that's just one. It seems like, yeah, it's just incorrect.
I agree with you, man. I definitely think that while I respect his opinion, and it's subjective, I think that battle rap existed long before Mook versus Lux, and it's just evolved over time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Because if that's the case, then neither Mook nor Lux would be a battle rapper by that logic, because they both had aspirations of being artists.
Mm-hmm.
That I just think it's an incorrect statement.
And are you gonna say Jay Mills wasn't? Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, that's crazy.
Shouts to Mickey though, man. Mickey is a wealth of knowledge, man. I'm just not rocking with that one.
For sure. All right. Who is the most famous person you've ever battled where the footage is rare or it's not on camera at all?
I'm not sure. Maybe Proof.
You battled Proof?
Maybe Quest. Where the footage didn't drop.
Or if you guys didn't even record it, it's just in the street or something like that or whatever.
Maybe. Damn, I'm not sure.
Wait, tell me about the one with Proof though. You battled
No. So, but that was just more so like in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like us just being around each other, not necessarily
just like playing around. Kind of thing.
Not necessarily like a sanctioned event or anything. I don't know, man. I had a lot of battles, bro. So just think about, I'm at 100 some battles on camera, and those aren't counting the ones that I just did in the streets, or when somebody said their man was fresh, or like I battled a lot. I'm not sure.
I think even before 8 Mile, you had you said hundreds of battles already,
bro. Right? I was him. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure who it would be.
Wow. Okay. What would you consider your top 5 rap battles of all time that you were in though?
So shouts to Quest, probably me and Quest versus Chess and Steamed over URL. Probably me versus Paste. 2, 3, probably me versus Cortez. That's 3. Probably.
Oh, and that one was a special one because you really didn't like him at that time too.
Yeah, I ain't fuck with Tez.
Shout out to Cortez.
Yeah, that's my guy. Shout out to my man for you. 4 would probably be me versus a young lady named Fendi. That just happened a couple years ago. That's the first and only time that I battled a woman. That's definitely a milestone for me. And 5, probably Tay Rock. Battling Tay Rock. Tay Rock is a staple. Tay Rock is a staple of battle rap. Oh, and to answer your question, the person who I battled that there is no footage of is probably Mook. It's Mook.
Whoa, wait, okay, come on, wait.
It's Mook.
So you're saying Tay Rock is number 1?
No.
There's no particular order. You're just naming five.
Yeah. I'm just naming five. I was just naming five.
Okay, all right. So with that being said, though, right? You battled Mook.
Yeah,
when he came to Detroit.
When he came to Detroit
with Proof.
Yeah, Proof. He was up there. He was running through everybody, and I was in the crowd. And Proof called me out the crowd to battle Mook. Yeah. But
and what happened?
Mook used that bar about he left his watch in Switzerland, something in Michigan, and he beat me. And that's when we found out that he was using writtens, and I got so mad at Proof.
That's why you got mad at Proof.
That's why
you were saying earlier.
I got so mad at P. And that's when he told me, like, you're at war, blah, blah, blah. And I said, call him back here, because if we using writtens, he can't fuck with me. I said, call him back. And I said, I'll put up the money to bet. And I think I may have had like 5 bands or some shit. I was like, call him back. And I don't know if he ever did. You know what I'm saying?
You never got your get back.
Nah, and me and Mook talk about it. Like, Mook, you owe me one. And we laugh about it.
What does he say?
We laugh about it. He like, set it up. I'm like, Mook, if I get my hands on you, boy, it's going to be a problem.
What was it like when you battled the girl? Since
Fendi,
you said that was your first time.
Fendi. So Fendi is a young lady from New York who I'm extremely fond of. I think she has one of the better pens. Like, I think she's one of the best writers in the history of battle rap, and we're like super close, like we're friends. So,
wait, of all time, regardless of not just females, you're talking about all time.
No, I think she has one of the best pens of all time. Like, her content and the way that she writes is so foreign to me, because I haven't wrapped my mind around how to do it. So, and we just did a 1-rounder, but I'm also not the person that's going to go into any situation with the low hanging fruit. So,
right.
I'm not going to go in there and call her a bunch of bitches. I'm not going to tell her, a whole bunch of suck my dicks and fuck you and blah, blah, blah. So it was a challenge for me to try to find a way to be effective without going at the low hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say that one is important for me, because it happened later in my career, and I was still able, and I'm still trying to find ways to be better at the shit that I do. You know what I'm saying? So that was
a lyrical exercise for you.
So yeah, it was an exercise at trying to be better. You know what I'm saying? Because I just could have went there and called her a bunch of bitches a million times, and you know what I'm saying? But I respect her enough, and I respect myself enough to try to find a different route. And that's why it's important to me. That's why it's on my personal list.
Do you feel you won?
Oh yeah, man, I kicked her teeth in, man. But she says the same thing about me, but I kicked her teeth in. Okay?
If you could battle any rapper from the industry, who would it be and why?
Rick Ross, man. I'm tired of the fucking comparisons. I look way better than him. And his eyes are way far apart, bro. He look like a praying mantis, bro. So I would just get him. I would just get him out of here, bro. I would just get him out of here.
Would you do the impression? Would you be like, boss?
Yeah. Yeah, come on, let's get to it, man. I'm gonna get him out of here. But Rick Ross is like a super hip hop dude, man. People don't give him credit. Like Ross can actually rap. Like he can rap.
But do you think that he could make the transition into battle rap?
Depending on the crowd. On the crowd. If he were in a crowd that valued flashy shit, then yeah, for sure. Because he can talk. Because he can truthfully talk a lot of flash. You know what I'm saying? If he were in front of a crowd that may want more abstract concepts and lyrics, maybe not. But we all started out as battlers, bro. Like we all battled. So, and I think he's from that cloth. Legit.
What industry rappers do you think would make a good, easy transition into the battle rap stage?
Graf. I think Graf would be a really good battle rapper.
Lloyd Banks.
I think Banks would be a good battle rapper. Like I think Joyner Lucas would be a good battle rapper. I don't necessarily have to be a fan of the person to respect their talent. Yeah, those are a couple. I think Graf would do really good. I think Sci-Hi the Prince would do really good as a battler.
Sci-Hi, definitely.
I think Sci-Hi would do really good as a battler. I think with a little bit of training, I think Royce could be a really good battler.
Yeah, Royce does have some epic diss tracks though, but I know that moving from wax to the actual stage is real different because it's almost like, you know how people can be funny online when they record a skit or something like that, but like when you up on stage, it's like doing stand up, right? Like you got to know like how to pause or do like a certain like movements and stuff like that gets a reaction from the crowd. It's like it's different.
But I also think if you have years of experience as far as performing,
that's true.
Then it won't be that difficult of a transition.
Like I felt Method Man did a great,
incredible
one rounder against Math.
Incredible, right? Incredible.
Yeah, he. I mean, a lot of people say that he won.
Incredible.
So
that's really good, man.
All right, I feel like around 2014, battle rap was at a massive high. You had the cannabis disaster battle already that happened in 2012. 2014, you got Cassidy and Disaster. Money from these companies looked like it was really investing in battle rap. During the Total Slaughter show, you see Disaster saying, yo, this is like UFC. They weren't getting paid a lot before and they stuck with it. It's the same with us. We're going to make lots of money. I don't really think many people besides like a Cassidy has really made that much money off battle rap. You know what I mean? Would you agree? Like to that, maybe Murda Mook?
I'm not sure. I'm not necessarily in the business of counting pockets. I think you get whatever you can negotiate. So I think, I do think there are some people who have higher value, but right. If you can talk good, you can get anything out of anybody.
Like, I interviewed Debo from Queen of the Ring, right? And he spoke about how there were times they would throw events and not recoup, and it was tough. And the battle rappers don't necessarily know the side of things of how much goes into putting up the event. And like, sometimes they overestimate how much of a draw they really are, right? Do you like talk about battle rap from the financial side of things? Do you feel like it's hard to sustain yourself just off of battle rap?
What I do think, and I think it just depends on whatever your lifestyle is outside of battle rap. If you're a minimalist, then you can do whatever you want to do. What I will say to that Debo statement, and shouts to Debo, shouts to Queen of the Ring. I do think that a lot of us mistake talent for value. And I do think a lot of us think because we're good at something that puts asses in seats and people indoors. And that is not necessarily the truth. You can be really, really good at something and not connect. And that doesn't always, like, being good doesn't always equate to a number. So I think that is something that we have to work on as battle rappers. And I think that's across the board. Yeah, I don't. It depends on what your lifestyle is, man. Like if you're a person who can get by on the minimum, then yeah, you can do it. Like you can do it. It's just like working a minimum wage job. If you can make it happen, you can make it happen.
Right. Do you think that battle rap hit a ceiling some years ago as far as popularity and financially? Because I heard in an interview you did like from 2014 saying that you wanted league owners and investors to kind of pull back a little bit because you were afraid it was going to
eat itself,
explode. Like you almost saw it coming.
Yeah, the culture is going to eat itself. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where we are. That's kind of where we are with anybody with some disposable income feels that they can run a battle league. And now they're putting money behind their nephew-in-law who isn't really that good So now they're blowing $10,000 to call Marv Won and be like, yo, he ready. And I'm like, this is a bad decision, but I'm also a businessman. So now this is just like, you spend money, your man gets killed, the battle comes out, it gets 1,500 views. Nobody benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? There's no quality control in battle rap right now. So that's why I felt if you pulled the money back, then you weed out the people who are looking at it as a cash grab, and you get to the people who are actually trying to do it. And they haven't. So that's why it's so many battlers. There's so many battle leagues. There's so many events happening. Like events are happening. 2 and 3 events are happening on the same day in different places. It's just like, it's a little too much. It's a little too much.
Do you think the caffeine situation was good for battle rap?
I think it was good for battle rappers. I think everybody who was able to go over there and get a chance to get some of that money that they were overpaying, I think it was good for them. But it didn't create any stars. The caffeine era didn't create any stars. It didn't give us anything new. Honestly, in my opinion. And there are a lot of people who went over there and benefited from it. I genuinely hate that I wasn't able to benefit from that. I won't lie. What
prevented you from being able to do that?
My lack of relationship, I think, with URL. And again, just the fact that I'm a contract guy. I don't have loyalty to a league or to a brand. I was who I was before any of these leagues existed. So, right. I kind of think that plays into it. I think that plays into it. Like, we can't necessarily just tell Marv anything. But yeah, I hate I wasn't able to take advantage of it or to go over there and just display some talent. You know what I'm saying? Then it just didn't happen. But to everybody who was able to, I think it benefited the rappers. I don't think caffeine got anything from it. I really don't know what URL got from it. Yeah, the rappers benefited.
Do you think that because at one point you had Diddy, Busta Rhymes showing up to events and other major people being involved, and I don't know, it really sparked interest for maybe people that weren't hardcore battle rap fans, but maybe casual fans, so things looked like it was on the rise for the culture. And it's almost like those fans kind of went away and just the hardcore fans have remained. Would you agree with that?
No. I think the type of people that you named, I just think they were finally afforded the opportunity to show their support or to show their interest in battle rap. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they went away because those people are the ones who are up on the culture the most. If you ask them who their favorites are, they're gonna give you a list. You know what I'm saying? They're still very much in tune. They haven't left the culture. It's just that they may not have the space to support it physically anymore.
Got you. Okay. So you feel even just viewership, you don't feel like viewership has gone down as far as for battle rap?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Because now these leagues are building their own apps and people are subscribing and they're paying $8 a month to watch battle rap. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think it migrated.
Got you. Okay. All right. Last question.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people know you for battle rap shit, but you're one of the battle rappers that has actually consistently put out project after project. You produce your own beats. You've produced for other people. You were signed to Denaun's label. If this was basketball, you could say you play in the league and you play street ball, like and one street ball. You know what I mean?
Pee Wee Kirkland,
you do both consistently. Okay. Why do you think it is that you don't get the recognition on the music side as much?
Oh, I do. I think I get more notoriety on battle rap because it's instant gratification. Like it's like
okay,
you know what I'm saying?
A good way to put it.
Like it's really microwave. But as far as music, everybody knows what I do. Like I dropped an album last year that debuted number 9 on iTunes. Like I'm not a slouch in either area. You know what I'm saying? I do think a lot of times because of my personality, I'm not a naturally boisterous, like, hey, look at me kind of guy. And I think you have to be that a lot of times in this culture, you know what I'm saying, to thrive. But what I really want, I just want you to organically find me. I don't want to beat you over the head with it. I don't want to be in your face 24/7. I want you to find me the same way that I found Rock Marcy, or find me the same way that I found Kai or Navy Blue. Like, because those are the people who don't leave you. Like, those are the people who genuinely, if they rock with you, they'll rock with you regardless. And also I know that the music that I make may not be, it's not for everybody. I make adult contemporary rap, and I'm cool with that. Like my time of being the bottle popper and the big chain wearer and trying to bed every girl has passed. And I would look like a fool trying to keep living that life at this stage of where I'm at. So the music that I make, it isn't for the person that's getting perked up and going to the club to buy out the section. I don't make that music. I make music for the person who want to go to a card party or watches HGTV, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm legitimately cool with that.
You know your niche.
Yeah, I know my niche, and I'm good at it. Like, I'm good at it, bro. Like, I've written for Dr. Dre. Like, I'm good at what I do. I don't need the validation of anybody. Like, I'm good.
Wait. You said you wrote for Dr. Dre?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people have. Before Compton came out, I had the opportunity. Shouts to Denaun, and shouts to Focus, and shouts to my man Cardiac. You know what I'm saying? Who are all instrumental in having me come out there and, you know, write some joints for Dre. They didn't make it, obviously, but the opportunity itself is just, you know, do you still get paid if you write it and it doesn't make it? So for me, it wasn't a thing of that, because all I wanted was the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I wanted was the opportunity. I had, even if the songs had made it, my idea was just like, hey, like, keep me in the system. Like, I want to be around. Like, it's not about like sometimes you gotta have a long play. You gotta have long vision. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. So, and that's a milestone for me. That was a milestone for me. Like, I didn't care about the money. It was just like, oh my God, this is generational talent right here that's listening to me. That's all I wanted.
What was it like meeting him? What was his aura like?
Super cool, man. Super cool guy, man. Super laid back, super chill. You know, it was. Did it
make you do the verse over 1,000 times or something like that?
Nope. We didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? He gave me some pointers. He told me what he liked. He told me, you know what I'm saying, what didn't fit, what he was as far as sonically, and you know, that was it. But I say all that to say, like, I've had an incredible career, or I have an incredible career. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm able to move whenever I want to move. I don't owe anybody anything. I've done some legendary things. You know what I'm saying? I've done some legendary things, and I've done all that being a kid from the east side of Detroit who grew up with a single mom, you know what I'm saying, and two brothers in the house. I have no complaints, man. Like my talent, the things that I did in my high school lunchroom and on street corners has taken me to every state in the country, to 3 continents. Like I have no complaints. I have no complaints, bro.
2 things. So who else have you written for?
I can't say. Can't say.
All right, cool. Now, number 2, how does it feel to make your mom proud after all this?
I mean, that was ultimate. But that wasn't the goal. The goal was always, you know, you get in the shit and you be like, oh man, I'm buy mama a house, I'm buy mama a car. And then you may have to adjust what your definition of success is, right?
Right.
So I'm always very happy that my mother doesn't have to make an excuse for me when she talks about me. She doesn't have to say, well, you know, he's doing his best, or you know, he had a little trouble growing up. Like my mother can speak about me with pride, and I'm Gucci. That's success. I'm cool. I'm super cool. That's all I care about.
Congratulations, bro, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
All right, Marv, I just want to thank you for your time, bro. Is there anything else you want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up?
Man, find me on all socials, MarVWON. Same thing on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, all that. New album coming out next year. No Lifeguard on Duty, produced exclusively by me. You know, same story, man. Let's keep the ball rolling.